Hello and welcome back to the PL Pyramid. I'm gracing you with some midweek narration because it's an absolute deluge of competitions in this midweek fixture list. We've got League 1 action featuring Levi's FullofStrangeham. We've got League 2 highlights from Harry Pally against Bustin Villa and Jazz of the Rovers against Warringham. And we'll also catch up on scores concerning Connorwich, Danielsea and Leeds UniTodd. We've got FA Cup replays featuring Ellister, Thomarse, Red Whall and Marshyside Red. EFL third round, we've got AFC Wimbledon against Hart Chamberlain. And then also a Carabao Cup semi-final second leg, as you can see on the screen now, between Danielsea Y and Foyverton. So yeah, 5 highlighted games, other scores across the FA Cup and League 2 as well. So just to try and piece it together and make sure that everyone knows what they're actually watching, I thought I'd jump on for a change. So I have no idea where it's going to send me first, probably the most complicated way possible. League 2, yeah, somewhere completely in the middle for no reason. But a good game, and an important game at the top of League 2 actually. Warringham steamrolling their way to the top of the table, or towards the top of the table, 4 games in hand, but 1 point off Dauntley's Devils. Jazz of the Rovers looked like the team that were going to reach the summit, but actually tailed off in the last couple of games. Some unfortunate losses from Jazz's perspective. But yeah, the return of Erling Haaland has compounded what was already a pretty good start to the season. Milan Baros was holding the fort. And he's still chipping in with goals even now, but obviously, I mean, Haaland scored a hat-trick midweek. I think he scored at least 2 or 3 the week before. I think he's top goal scorer, at least amongst the top goal scorers, and he's missed half the season through injury. Bizarrely not taking this though. Paquetá pulls rank and pulls it into the keeper. Odd decision. Don't know if Mark Noble's on the pitch either. He normally at least can be forgiven for taking the ball off Erling Haaland. It's not starting today though. No, I saw Matt over the Christmas period and did continuously tell him that he is now favourite for, I'd say, the League 2 title, to be honest, let alone promotion. Matt being Matt was obviously very modest and shy about taking that acclaim, but I stand by it. So it's only really Dauntley's Devils that can match him for form in recent weeks, but Dauntley's form has come a lot later in relative terms, and he's played, what was it, 7 more games? It's good to have points on the board. He's definitely in that promotion hunt. I'd say Warringham definitely have the upper hand. Belated punishment for missing that penalty. And a punishment compounded by Matoma. So this would be a massive win for Jazz. To keep that top 2 hope alive. Bit of an odd team actually. I didn't only just notice both David May and Colin Hendry in today. Following obviously a very busy Christmas period. After soaking up that first half pressure, looked very good in the second half. Matoma might be one of those players that It was a sort of shrewd acquisition, whether it was during the draft or the most recent draft last summer. He's only going to get better, you'd think. That Le Tissier, we already know how good he is. Missed all of last season, really hit the ground running at charge of the Rovers this year. And probably won a pretty vital 3 points. Mark Noble could have done with you on the pitch about 80 minutes ago. 60 minutes ago. That keeps that top rung interesting. Not so good for the chasing pack, myself included, who probably could have done with a draw, if anything. Alright, where are we getting sent to next? Oh, we're staying in League 2, at least that's vaguely sensible. Harry Pally against another informed team, Bustin Villa, who, I mean, we'll check the table in a sec. Outside chances of entering the playoff fray despite a poor start to the year. Yeah, got not too many games in hand, about 6 points off the pace. But if they continue the form of sort of mid to late December, it's not out of the question. That strike force of Samuel Eto'o and Mark Hughes has started to fire in recent weeks. Didn't stop Paul rejecting a bid for Gabby Ogbonlahor the other day though. Just for morale, it's nice to have a whipping boy at training. Harry, meanwhile, unfortunately his season just hasn't got going. Well, it got going within the first 3 weeks or so, then that sort of, I think we can say, disastrous transfer dealing with Craig and the tractor bulge, which saw him relinquish Bergkamp and pivotally Petr Cech, has pretty much unravelled everything, all that good work ever since. They're still in the FA Cup, so that's something to fight for during these next sort of 3 or 4 months. But there's not even really the jeopardy of relegation, considering there are the 6 non-draft teams in League 2 this year. So that's never a danger. And interestingly, they've veered away finally from that ridiculous back 3 with Gerrard at right wing back, and immediately had their most profitable 5 minutes in about 4 months. Could also be that their illustrious chairman Harry Palmer has returned from gallivanting around Central America, and they finally feel seen. The absent chairman not doing much for morale. Gerrard's first goal of the season in January pretty much sums up the nonsense that has been that back 3 and his right wing back placement. Assisted by the person who should have been playing right back all along. How are we only 10 minutes in? One other notable absence for Harry today is Martin Keown, because despite Harry making his way back from Nicaragua or Guatemala or wherever the hell he was, he hasn't replied to a transfer offer from Bolton A for Martin Keown. So Martin's sort of stuck in limbo, somewhere along the M1 presumably, not knowing if his big gargoyle head is heading to Lancashire or staying in London. I think it was a 4.2 million offer, which I imagine that ultimately Harry will reject, but until that happens, I'm not going to presume. Serves you right for not replying. But it's given Big Olof a chance to score against his beloved Villa. That's got to hurt Paul. I'm going to make a prediction now that whether Harry wins by 7 or 8 goals next week, inexplicably, Wenger will have gone back to a back 3 with Redknapp at DM and Gerrard at right wing back. This has been very promising though. Maybe we'll let Keown go. Maybe it was his bad influence all along. And this is going to be a long highlights package. Offside. You could make a case that both Harry and Paul might be looking in the transfer window this January for another striker. Obviously you can't really replace Bergkamp, but it is really just Defoe leading the line for him so far this year. Paul, meanwhile, still pretty reliant on these two. But all in all, it's been an extremely quiet transfer window. I think the addition of the 4 new teams and their drafts, plus everyone else's sort of waiver pickups last summer, we've finally reached a tipping point where there aren't that many free agents that anybody wants now. Obviously that will change in the summer when we get the whole deluge of this year's entrants, the likes of Florian Wirtz, Gyökeres, Sesko, etc. Actually, the top-rated free agent striker was picked up in the very first waiver window, and that was Alan Boksic, went to Marshyside in the National League Prem. So beyond that, I think the next highest rated is Dean Saunders, who Paul only sold in the summer. So it could be a triumphant return for the Villa legend, but I'm doubting it. Again, I think you take Jennifer Saunders in this game. Actually, atrocious performance. Six. Where has this come from? A team carrying no form, losing their starting centre back. Taking down one of the top 5 form teams in recent weeks. And he might not be done. Seven. Harry's return from hotter climes has absolutely galvanised them. Seeing their fearless leader back in the crowd again. I really hope Wenger keeps the 4-2-3-1 next time. FM logic will say it's unlikely, but just shows what could have been all along. Certainly wouldn't be in the position they are now if they'd been playing like this. Going up a league to League One and checking in with Levi's FullofStrangeham. We haven't really seen much of in recent weeks. I suppose I could have checked in on one of the FA Cup replays. I know Marshy was quite keen. I thought keep it fair and just do a score rundown for all four teams involved at that. Is it all four? Yeah, four. I thought we'd dive up to the only League One match featuring a drafted team today instead. Not really too much to analyse. In terms of FullofStrangeham, they're third at the moment. No, I think they're fourth of the four, but have a game in hand on Foyverton in third. Probably this game, in fact. So I think that would see in real time push up into third, but both of them now have been cut a bit adrift from Thomarse in second, and then Ellister City, who look slightly untouchable at the top at the moment. Let's go. Southampton C have actually had a pretty good past week or so. They knocked out Cheshampton from the EFL trophy at the regional quarter-final stage, and they're taking their place in the semis alongside Levi, actually, so they might come up against each other again. Also Dan Gregory's Danielsea, and then the winner of tonight's third round match between Z's AFC Wimbledon and Lawrence's White Hart Chamberlain. So yeah, we'll be seeing Southampton C for a third time in pretty quick succession over the coming weeks. That Cheshampton win was really bizarre. I think it was 4-0 in the end against a pretty elite draft side. No real danger of that happening again tonight though. All been pretty calm from Levi's perspective, he says, just as they give the ball away and concede their first proper chance. You can always tell if a transfer window is pretty slow if even Levi's not getting involved. He's usually can't help himself. I dare say he has had a cheeky look at the waivers and any potential free agents to add to the squad, but the only person he's brought in so far is the guy that's just come on, MATTch. Got him in waiver window 1 of 5. Next up, a really big game, probably the highlight of the evening. I messed up slightly over the Christmas period. I bit off more than I could chew, thought I'd covered all bases, and accidentally missed the first legs of the Carabao Cup semi-finals. Probably while I was giving coverage to some shit league game or EFL trophy or FA trophy match instead. So apologies for that. And I don't think Wyman will have been too upset at missing that one, but we've tuned in just in time for a potential comeback. The cup specialist loves it in front of the cameras. Won the FA Cup last year as well as the World Club Cup. He's won the Community Shield twice in a row. Knows his way around one-off ties. He's going to have to overcome the reigning League 2 champion if he's going to make it to another Wembley appearance. That being said, it's actually the home team that have rotated a little bit, bizarrely. Just saw Richard Dunn at the back, it's never a good sign. Tariq Lamptey and Leif Davis. MATTch Tells on as well. It's actually Foyverton that seems to be taking it a bit more seriously, but he's not been in brilliant form recently either. Probably wouldn't relish an away trip to another draft team after recent performances. Oof, what on earth is Mendy doing? Just to confirm, the other Carabao Cup semi-final, not entirely sure when it is actually, it's in the next few days. We'll see Hart Chamberlain hosting the Red Whall and hoping to overturn a 2-1 first leg defeat. So, I mean, given the home advantage, still very much in the balance, that one. Actually, a guaranteed first time final appearance for either of those. As it would be for Foyverton if they can hold off this charge. Richard Dunn hauled off after a half. And it's Desmond. This felt quite inevitable. Yeah, it feels even I was going to say, even more inevitable that it's going to score again. Didn't quite anticipate he'd boot it into his own goal. Foyverton's season collapse becoming more and more pronounced. And Wyman heading to Wembley again. He just loves European football as well. I mean, it ruins his league campaign every year. And he goes and wins another domestic trophy. Still fighting in the Europa League this year. And this could seal it. It's Tell again. %29 possession. Oyster's not known for his patience when things are going wrong. What a block that is. Interesting to see how angry he is with Ranieri by the time we get to the end of the season if it continues in this vein. being said, it's not quite over yet. It is now. No, it isn't. Another lifeline. That might as well be a penalty for Yaya Toure. Four 0 to the League Two side against the League One team. And because of Levi's win, he's also dropped down to fourth of the four draft teams in League One. Could be a bad night. Still not quite over. Shea Given was having a lie down. It's got about 10 minutes left. Again, being carved open. Offside again. More luck than judgment. So rare to see an XG of 4 on FM. Or anywhere really. Probably make that 5. Unbelievable result. Surely not 6. It's 6. Foyverton, who conceded 4 to Huddersfield at home not so long ago, have now shipped 6 to bomb out of the Carabao Cup. And to extend this highlights package into one of the longest we're ever going to do, I think. Well done, Wyman. Another cup final. And finally, one of the teams that will be vying to face Danielsea White at Wembley in the Carabao Cup final, White Hart Chamberlain, also still fighting for a place in, I guess, what's officially the quarterfinals of the whole competition, but the semi-finals of the Southern Division of the EFL Trophy. Such a horrible competition to try and explain. So yeah, I did go through it slightly earlier, but already booked their places in the Southern semi-finals are Southampton C, FullofStrangeham and Danielsea. The Northern semi-finals are made up of Danielsea Y, also fighting in that cup still, obviously. They just don't lose in cups. Leeds UniTodd are also still there. Reigning champions, Connorwich City, still going. And Foyverton will have a chance at revenge. They play Man United C for a place in the semi-finals, which you'd expect them to win, despite current form. I had the displeasure of coming up against Zach Torrance at five-a-side last night, where he was given man of the match for another outrageous outfield and in-goal performance. But I should definitely mention that Cruyff turned him onto his arse at one point, and he got the pleasure of watching me score while still sat on his arse. I think that's important to mention at this juncture. Lawrence, meanwhile, probably won't be seeing this highlights reel for a little while because he's having a lovely day at the snooker. It's more Mr. Chamberlain's pace. And again, by the looks of the stadium, I think everyone else is at the snooker as well. The infamous massive turnouts for these EFL trophy games. Whoa, Neil Sullivan. I did spot the other day, more bad news for Zach. He wanted David James last season and then he retired. So he brought in Shaka Hislop instead, who is also now set to retire at the end of this year. So it's been Neil Sullivan in recent weeks stepping in. Can he keep the clean sheet needed to see them through to the semis, the southern semis, I should reiterate. Sullivan's been helped out by the woodwork more than once. Oh, Morella's off the line. He's holding on. Hart Chamberlain will have a chance to still reach Wembley in that Carabao Cup semi-final against the Red Whall, but this one looks to be over. Well done, Zach. Well done to anyone that's made it this far listening to me prattle on. Still just got a few more scores to dissect. So, firstly going to shoot up to League One to have a look at the table. And I'm going to go down to League Two, see how Connor got on. Comfortable 3-1 win that, as you'd expect, against Barnsley. And in the all draft clash, another good win for Danielsea, who have experienced a mini revival of late. Meanwhile, Leeds UniTodd's previous mini revivals hit a blockade all of a sudden. They're both looking like teams destined for mid-table obscurity at the end of this season. Look at the league table to see if that reflects it. Yeah, pretty much exactly that. They've both played an unattractive amount of games as well. No real scope to pick teams off. But you never know. I mean, they're still within 5 and 6 points of the playoffs. It's just we haven't seen any team yet actually string together enough results to sort of completely reverse form. And finally, just making sure I've not missed anything else, we'll go to the FA Cup. Obviously, Marshy's paid his subscription fee to watch his game on pay-per-view. Oh, are we still in latest territory? Yeah, we can skip it on for a sec. Where were we? LuTom, you've made it through. Decent win away at Aston Villa B. Wouldn't have been an easy game. Into the 4th round. Along with Marshy. He missed out on watching that second half comeback. That 11 pretty much starts every week, maybe with Son on the left and Højlund up front in Van Nistelrooy's absence. But that midfield 3 are rock solid. They will not be moved from the starting lineup. Ellister took penalties, but just about through. Neil Lennon nearly ruined it. Dougie Freedman and Jason Lee both on the score sheet. Proper golden oldies. And the Red Whall still fighting in the FA Cup as well as the Carabao Cup. Solskjaer and Menu just either side of half time. And Louis as well. Comfortable. It was a bit surprising that he couldn't see off Oldham in the initial fixture. Never in danger this time round. And then the final one, I think, is Thomarse, also comfortably through. The return of Giroud has definitely coincided with the surge in performances and form. I think that's it. I'm just looking at my notes, extensive notes, because obviously this is a real professional operation. No, that's everything. Any manager sackings? No, other than Mike Phelan recently joining West Brom B, but that's hardly newsworthy. So next up we've got league games, just textbook, standard League 1, League 2, National League Prem at the weekend. So I'll see you then.